All right, welcome back to another weekly watches session, team. Hope you guys having a fantastic day. Had a great weekend and ready for a brand new month um, of April, which normally cycle in the past years. April relatively used to be very active. I mean, it used to be a very good month for stock market. So yeah, we'll see how this month is going to play out. I mean, we're seeing a lot of things going on, a lot of big things going on. As you can see, I pulled up this very interesting post that I saw a few days, and I was diving a little research on it, but unfortunately, I couldn't really uh, get on top of it. But I mean, get more information of what exactly going on with that, and you won't be able to really find too many information on these publications like Bloomberg, Wall Street Journals, and all that, because that it's kind of it will create a panic. So I don't think they will really talk about it that much. But for us, when we are realistic, we are traders. We want to know what's going on. We want to know what's going on with our currency, with our money, what's gonna happen, and is this really mean that we're seeing this world order change? The book by Ray Dalio, a hedge fund manager of a Bridgewater, and he explains in his book, and I highly recommend you guys to really go get that book, read it. And if you're not really like to read the whole book, go watch his video on YouTube on his channel, and he explains everything about that. So this to me, it's kind of a sign of we're seeing that change is coming, but we don't know what would be the time frame. I mean, when we're talking about um, reserve currency threat, uh, we're looking at a big problem, a big issue that is facing us, whoever lives in U.S. or whoever making money by U.S. dollar, and even overseas. I mean, it's not something that you should really not think about. But things turns out to be China, South Africa, Brazil, Russia, India, Iran. They all team up kind of to create a new currency. Which in another article I was reading was they actually moving towards making yuan, which is the currency of China, making that as a reserve currency for them, because that way they can really, skip these sanctions that are after Russia and so many other countries that are in the third world region. So they having that problem. So this is a lot easier for them. So this is a game that China is playing, and definitely something that you should keep an eye and making sure that how long and what's going to happen. I mean, just be on top of it. I personally, I do think that this is really a big deal for U.S. And many other countries that are dealing with the U.S. dollar. So this also really affect a U.S. dollar. I mean, for the past few years, I'm looking at this. New. Let me actually pull it up here. New chart of dollar dollar hedger position. You can see that this green line here basically is a standard deviation above 3 years average, and the red below is a standard deviation below the 3 year average. and dollar is, in between in that. And then uh, there is some, uncertainty. There are some uncertainties, I would say, not just one thing, that can really, really impact, overall, dollar value. So whatever it's gonna be, if it's gonna be Bitcoin rally, or if it's gonna be forex related to yuan or whatever, at the end of the day, we just have to educate ourselves. We just have to be updated, be on top of everything. I mean, that's my belief. And don't let that, kind of panic, fear, and all those things really affects you, because uh, if you really follow the crowd and let all these, fear get into you, you're definitely not gonna be able to think, positively, think straight, and make better decisions towards your investment with your money and all that. So whenever everyone's having a fear, you should be very smart and take advantage of that, and maybe buy, maybe uh, create something out of all these fear for yourself and your family. So this is something to keep that in mind. By the way, my probably my voice is kind of static. I got this, I don't know what is it. It's a spring season, so I think I have this allergy going on. Probably a lot of you guys um experienced it, but for me, this is the first time I've experienced this thing, and it's very strange. So I apologize for the voice, but yeah, I mean, I'm always ready to, do my work, do my due diligence, and give you guys as much as information that are available, and share it with you guys, that whatever, it's gonna help you. So that's my goal. That's my ultimate goal and my everyday goal. So hopefully you guys benefit from this. So without further ado, let's get to our watch list. We're having actually a decent amount of watch lists I put up on our week this week. We have three main watch lists and many good back pocket. I also updated that back pocket watch list, come out with a press release. So once you get it into your mail, and once I post it in our channel, I put the headline as well next to the back pocket watch list. So for example, if you have, I don't know, last week we had, or for now, I mean, this week we have like MCB as a back pocket. I already put the recent, latest headline that they had on the in front of it, so you can also see that as well. I mean, that's kind of a new change of what I'm doing with this. But if you guys have any ideas, comments, I would love to hear. I would love to get ideas. Share it with me. Send an email or DM me, whatever works for you. So anyway, let's get to our watch list this week. I'll try to keep this short, and I know um, it's your Sunday. You wanna do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's better to have your review, go over your trades, and prepare yourself for upcoming weeks. So that way you don't have to really worry about most of the things. So, and a disclaimer: this is all educational purposes. This is not the financial advice. As always, I mentioned, if you're not comfortable with this, you can shut your TV or YouTube, whatever. I mean, your channel, and move on. Go watch something else. That's just that's how much I can really explain it to you. But anyway, this week we have well, I pulled up already one of the interesting one, SVB, that we had going on with this banking crisis, and they defaulted a few weeks back, and recently they got the offer by First, I believe. First Citizen, I think. First Citizen, uh, or First Republic. I do not really exactly remember the name. I think First Citizen was the only one who decided. They decided to. This is a small bank. Small bank decided to, um, you know, save their um, deposit, sort of. Yeah, and then they came out with they put back their trading again once they launch. I think once they go live again, I think the stock plunged to from 100 or something. That was when it was on the Nasdaq. Right now it's trading on the OTC. I've never mentioned you guys how really you should pay attention to OTC stocks. OTC stocks are very, very um, illiquid, very risky, and it is very troublemaking if you don't know what exactly you're doing. How do you place an order? And also, some of the brokers they don't offer that. I mean, if you have Interactive Broker, TD, or E-Trade, they will offer you, commit. I mean, they will offer OTC, but I don't think Webull or Robinhood or any of those offering OTCs. And I think the highest fee that you will pay is through Interactive Broker. I don't exactly know, don't know about their commissions on trading OTCs. I mean, you can go through a website if you have it. You can contact them, or in your trading platform, you can also see when you place an order, it'll show you how much it costs you. So the commission wise on TD, I know it's $7, and E-Trade is like $4.50. I think E-Trade has the lowest amount of commission on trading OTC, but you got to be careful because if you are a trader like me, as a scalp, you scale and you rotate your shares. You don't want to really do that with OTC. That would really can definitely cost you money, and it won't be very profitable strategy that you want to use. You really want to have that pattern followed, and have your price target set up, and have one or two exit and entry. So SIVBQ, excuse me. This one, obviously bounce back. A lot of lot of you know, hype. A lot of stuff that people wants to buy a dip. They lost so much money. People, I mean, the company is on it bankrupt. It's a bankrupt company that acquired by another bank that has less credibility compared to other banks and SVB. I mean, I think First Citizen is like 12th or 11th bank in US. I'm not sure exactly, but they acquired, they hold on to the deposit. So the SIVBQ, it's definitely has that hype and activity going on. A lot of volume traded throughout the day from Friday. That was a huge pump from I think 38 cents to $2 almost. Oh, excuse me, to 140, 150. So I put it on the back pocket watch list. I know that this is something that not a lot of people can be able to trade. But if you can be able to trade, if you have a right broker, right platform, you definitely can benefit from the move. And I think still have that hype going on, and I think there's much to offer in terms of price action, but obviously I do not think that these things will last long forever. I think it will definitely go back down to where it was. The problem with this SVB thing is just every headline create a hype. So selling the news obviously on this is very interesting, and they do that all the time. So that's kind of the um, interesting fact to think about it and every day watch the news and what's going on with this. Otherwise, I don't think there will be much of activity, volatility. So yeah, for the past few, yeah, I think it came out from Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. This continuation, still going from, yeah, still have that continuation. But yeah, keep that in mind. But let's get back to our main watch list. Right now, I have this VKTX. VKTX is actually a decent setup that I place it. I think. Oh yeah, we traded this from Tuesday. VKTX. Honestly, it is a very fine setup. I personally thought I had this really short bias on this one once it really had that range at the open. My thought process was, okay, I do see that top ticks uh, and fake outs on this. I do not want to really push the limit and be aggressive about it. But my thought process was I want to short this. I want to see this thing to get fade out, possibly uh, crack down the open because in the pre-market it's already went to the. I mean, it already had the new high, and during that time frame, we had other stocks, PXYS and OSCR. They were running on the grind, and they were actually a better setup in terms of pricing and volume has been traded on them. But I do think that VKTX had, let's see, yeah, I mean, relatively lower average volume on the compared to other stocks, but decent move. Really spoof so many short traders, and squeeze just happened to just continue, and that was a very very decent move. But the reason was we had this high institutional news on this one. I think they came out with a PR as well. They had this clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on the development of novel therapies for metabolic and endorsing disorders. No idea what is that. Today announced that it has initiated phase 1 clinical study to evaluate a novel oral formulation of the company dual glucose and blah. I mean, yeah, I mean they have this phase 1 going on. It's a um, biotech move. Obviously, you don't want to really uh, get into the hype of the news, but obviously on Tuesday it has this gap up, relatively not lower float, 67 million float. It does have 35% institutional ownership, but so many of toots are you know suggested this to be on the. Oh, let me actually in the they're on the long side of the trade. So yeah, VKTX drawing back up, still in that channel. Second day, I was focusing on the second day short. It did create that opportunity, but obviously lower reward. You don't want to really risk that, that consolidation and get bought out at the bottom. It's just didn't really. It's just not really profitable on the short side. So definitely hold that VWAP level until the end of the day, and after hours kind of like profit taking action, and then again pick that up, up again from that 15 level, and came back up with relatively lower volume, range of 1 million. So that came back pretty nicely actually. And then just continuation, making that higher low. And right now, on Friday, it was a very decent setup to kind of take advantage of that lower high move and get on the short side, and the crack of trend line. So this was a very ideal setup to short, but still have the same pattern as their kind of had few days back in Wednesday. So it's still not a good confirmation to see this thing to really flush back down. That is why I put it up on the watch list, because I mean stock is kind of maxed out. There's not much room left, in my opinion. But if we are seeing this pipe going on with this, and all these headlines and toots are very very, they're aggressively kind of talking about this. So I think there's a $220 range, possibly, but who knows? That's really depends on their volume action. So keep that in mind. Always keep that volume on watch. This wasn't really a Friday. Was definitely no signs of new buyers or new transaction for the long side, and we had this really really good pullback in the in the on the Friday. So on the Monday, I'm looking to see if this really going to flush back down, because there's still much room left to the downside. I'm looking at that 15 range. So we'll see how this goes. This is also on ETB, so definitely something to keep that in mind. I don't think I will think that this will be SSR by Monday, so that is something to keep that in mind. So we'll see how this goes, and if the price just pick back up, support just get bought out, I do want to see another leg and gap up towards this trend line. But the key area is definitely this 1760. It definitely needs to break that level in order to convince buyers. So yeah, that's VKTX, and next one I have OSCR. OSCR was actually relatively an interesting one. Actually, I traded. I made a few mistakes on this OSCR, and I actually made really decent trade on this as well on the long side. Actually, the mistake was on the short side, because I usually wanted to hedge, and be have that mindset. As I always mention to you guys, you should not have one bias when you're trading. You need to adapt yourself. You need to see where is the direction, where is the confirmation, and if you're just thinking about I need to go long because I have a long bias, or I'm thinking I'm very bullish. I think that's the only way the stock can go. You're wrong. You're never gonna really make that a smart make a smart decision on your trade. So your plan needs to be adjusted. You need to think on the both side. Think as a bearish, as a short trader, and think as a long trader. You got to combine those things all the time. So yeah, for me, this was more of a By the way, I still have these EMA channels you guys requested. Some of you requested, oh, can you just put your EMAs, because they're really interested to see this blue one. I mentioned it again. Blue one is a 200 EMA I have. A red one is a 50, and white one is 25, and yellow is the VWAP, and the purple one is 70 EMA. 7 or 10 doesn't really make a big difference. But if you're on the short side, you want to see that 7 EMA as a better range. So yeah, OSCR, another grinder. Really got I really wanted this to get extended and fade out for really a possible short, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. This one had the good news. They announced their new CEO, Mark Bertolini. So definitely something that uh, create a lot of insider activities because they wanted to rotate their shares, pass it along to a new CEO or CEOs buying out. I mean, those are the things that happen during this time frame. So that's one thing to keep that in mind, and make sure you're not gonna get yourself into a early short or bad position when you're when the stock is really good. I mean, it's on the long side. So that was the sign that I wanted to make sure that if the stock is really um, continue going higher and then get fade out. Obviously, you got fade out the first day. That was a great opportunity on the short side. I don't think I anticipated to that, but I did anticipate to the long side on the first day. However, like I said, I was on the short side of this as well, but I got to stopped out and then switch over to my long, and that was a really good one because I mentioned that in the group that the grind was continued, and OACR was a really good setup. And then obviously the fade out second day was really a short trap day, so you don't want I mean that day was a day to avoid this stock in many ways, as it just keeps getting break out of the downtrend line, create that higher low continuation, and then finish the day strong, in a not as the previous day but higher, because usually that second day is definitely a good opportunity to see the stock fade out, and the third day make a new high. OSCO was still in that grind move, so that's why I put it up on our watch list. I want to see if this grind continues rotation, or and also they do have high institutional ownership. I think they do have 88% institutional ownership, which is very much high, in terms of seeing that uh, continuation, and on the long side. So yeah, ranges are still good on this one. I do think that there is some room on the upside. That's 812 could be a very key area to keep that in mind, and watch closely. But obviously, this needs higher volume and activity in this. I mean, as you guys can see from Tuesday, it's just the volume just fade out, and on Monday or next week, I mean, we just have to see how things plays out. If this gonna have those small amounts or small tapes that you know make the stocks more of a consolidation kind of move or short move. So that if that's happened, you really want to avoid that because the spread's gonna be huge, and it's gonna be very illiquid, to set up to be a good setup in a different way, if I want to put it. So yeah, keep that in mind. I think they do have offering also, or CR. Oh no, I do not see any offering at the moment. So yeah, that's it for this OCR. Keep it on your watch. See if this channel continues and it gets to the new high or not. And lastly, on our main watch, I have YMAB, which we had this on Friday. Really great setup. I think we had this. We called this from a $5 breakout, and honestly, one of those kind of setups that I did not expect that to finish the month with it. YMAB was definitely the best one out of all in the long side of the trade. So yeah, I decided to put it up there because the stock has a 65% ownership. They came out with their ER. Uh, Obviously, uh, when the stock has earning, you definitely don't want to. You want to avoid shorting the trade at least at the open, and then into the afternoon definitely there's room to short. Uh, but I still think that there's some juice or um, we're probably gonna see that like cover pop activity into the uh, second day, uh, and that's why decided to put it up there and see if that really can drive the price back and break that $6 range, because that $6 range can definitely create a good gap to 650 and every 25 cents above it. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my idea behind this. But who knows? I do also want this to really get the fake out and not really go that much and give me the confirmation um, that there's no more interested buyers in this. So there's definitely that can really create a good opportunity on the short side. So yeah, I mean, there is room to the on the short side. There's not much left on the long side, honestly, unless if we see a massive surge in the volume, into the volume, after this, six probably break. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my idea. They have shelf offering, and they only have 9.2 months left on their cash availability. So that's something to keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, I mean that's something to just have it on your side. So you gotta be careful these days. All these companies want cash. They want to do their offering. I mean, I think yes, Friday we had, what was that? GMVD. I think GMVD. That was a really great short opportunity. Unfortunately, I could not find more shares as everyone was on this one. I mean, I knew uh, definitely this was definitely something massive, and hopefully that no one got a stock into this, because I know a lot of people are got into the trap of this, because the stock was making that higher low, and unfortunately just right after got they announced their offering. So you want to be careful with when the stock have they cancel the recent offering. Let me take a look, because I think uh yeah, their warrant reset to 90 cent and reissued. So when they do all these things, when they do readjustment, they reissue a new warrant and all that, when they're active on their um financials, especially when on their shelf offering, you want to kind of avoid trading that on the long side, because they probably gonna do the offering. But when the company doesn't really look or doesn't really update their shelf or the convertible notes or warrants or anything like that, it less likely to happen in the same day. But that's something you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure that you always protect it. You always have your stop if you're trading it on the long side. But this was a very huge drop. I mean, that was a great. We're talking about 68%. So yeah, you want to avoid that. Uh, yeah, that's all about our pretty much our watch list. But in the back pocket, I put this SOUN. They had this new SoundHound chat AI platform uses breakthrough technology to offer powerful voice assistant to business and brands, and that's their headline. They really grind back up. I think that's more of a cover pop. That news is, I think it's very old. Not very old. It's for last week. It's not. They don't have. They didn't have any news on Friday. Last Friday. So yeah, I mean, this is more of a a short cover activity, or we're seeing that insider going on. MCB also was another grinder. I love this stock actually on the long side because I mean that dead cat bounce was pretty nice. Obviously, um, this is not a stock that you want to go size on this, as the spread is huge, and you want to watch out when you're positioning yourself. But definitely one of those great dead cat bounce from Wednesday and Friday. Well, the Thursday, and then bounce back to the Thursday. So I still have this on the watch. I do think there's room to see this go back above their previous high 38. So I put it on the back pocket with their news, and then Pally PY XS. Pally actually, it's still a grinder. Um, they upgraded their stock announcement and all that price target, so that's not really it's an important thing to keep that in mind. But obviously, create the hype, create activity. Probably still in that range, making that higher low. But we will see how this goes. I mean, um, max level 431, so you don't want to really get on this one that much. PYXS also great short on Friday. I did short this. I was waiting for this to get shorted because this was also another trappy one, another trappy next to OSCR and VKTX. We had this three going on, and yeah, another grinder, make that um, max 7. And Friday, Death Cross and Bye Bye Birdie. I mean, you can see that flush. That was a massive flush. It was a great, um, setup to to just anticipate. But it was a hard to borrow stock, so you don't want to really, um, you know, worry about that if you're not having the proper mm, broker to offer you shares to borrow. Yeah, I mean that's it. We have a few other BMEA. I have it on the watch. Visa. I do think maybe we can get a bounce. SI, same as Visa, and lastly SIVBQ, which is OTC. I don't normally put OTC up here, but this is something to keep that in mind. I mean, they're very active, especially right now. And I don't have a swing trade right now. I know some of you want to swing something, but honestly, with this market condition, it's better to just stick to the day trading, get your money and get out. That's it. Uh, yeah, so we'll see how this goes with Fed decision next. Oh, well, I don't think we have. Let's see on the calendar. Yeah, so next week we have some earnings also, and I'm trying to. Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. So yeah, we have some stuff going on next week. Job opening April 4th. That's very important too. Uh, Should expect that one. That can create um, some volatility. FP4, FP7, U.S. employment report. That's also very important. And average wage and all that. So yeah, I mean these are the major thing to watch upcoming week. So that's it, Tim. I'll keep this short. I mean, I hope this is short. I know it's kind of longer than usual, as we had, more stocks to watch for the upcoming week. So hope you guys enjoy this and benefit from. And yeah, if you guys have any question, please reach out to me or email support. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and that's it. Because this is a free information that I'm putting out there, and free watch list basically. And if you haven't subscribed, it's a free watch list. You can subscribe to the newsletter, get it. But we always dive deep in the channel. So if you want to subscribe to our group, make sure to do it. So yeah, that's always better to have an interaction with me if you want to learn more and start, or if you starting trading, start trading if you want to learn more and all that. So anyway, hope you guys have a fantastic day and talk to you guys on Monday.